Control C. Bang, bang, bang. Can you hear me now? Yeah, you can hear me. And that should be picking up that now. Okay. Scene collection. To this. And that's working. Pure premium. And now we're back. All right, here we go. I'll send you. I hope that, yeah, that's fine. Okay. I will send you.
Hey guys, it's your boy JT.
The link for it so you can see it just before it goes live. And hang on, actually, let me just put it public. And start this bitch. I'll put a starting scene thing on. Bang, bang, bang. What's going on, everybody? Let me just check that mic is working. There we go. It is all good in the hood. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JT, and we are here with the penultimate episode, or the primary episode of the Pioneers of Sport podcast, where we're going to be going through everything sport. We're not just talking football. We're talking combat sports. We're talking anything that you might enjoy. If my light decides it doesn't want to fall down, Atomic Puppet, Logan Batterson, how are you, my boys? But today, I feel like it is the perfect way to kick off the podcast is by talking about the Americanization of English football, more specifically the San Francisco 49ers, and of course, new FFP regulations that are coming into the sport. And who better to talk through it with than an American himself, a guy who knows all too well about the 49ers, about Americanization of sport in general, Mr. Bargav. Before I do introduce him quickly, I do want to say, because I am chatting to someone, I may not be as responsive immediately to the comments, but I will be reading them attentively. Did you know about this podcast? No, you didn't, Logan. No, you didn't. But like I said, it may take me just a little bit longer to get to you than usual, because maybe Bargav will be speaking, and that would be it. Is that I'll call you Gav for short. Is that all right? Does
Yeah, that's
Gav
cool.
work? Gav works. Well,
Yeah.
here he is anyway. Introduce yourself to the people, my man.
Hey guys, my name's Bargav. Thank you for having me today. Like, I mean, I'm here to talk about like leads and like the way like football is going. And I'm excited to have this conversation.
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to this for a good time. I thought you mentioned a podcast. I'll call you Jizzy. No, none of this It's let's just say Bargav, I went on another stream and people started trying to call me Jizzy, and for some reason it stuck. Let's just draw a line in the sand, get rid of that fraudulence. But of course, the first thing that we are going to be talking about is Victor Orta. Victor Orta has come out recently and he's spoken about having a small squad. A lot of people originally pinned this on Bielsa. They said Bielsa was the reason why we weren't signing anyone. Bielsa was the reason why Leeds weren't investing in the squad as a whole, and we were keeping this small squad. But once he's gone, Victor Orta has now come out and said, no, you know what, I'd rather grow players than buy £500 million players. I'd rather grow £1 million players. What's up, Jack? And basically, he wants to follow the Leicester City model. Now, I pose a question to you, my man. Does that work in the modern game when you're looking at teams like Chelsea, you're looking at teams like Newcastle who are splashing the cash? Does that work in today's model?
No, that's a good question, man. I mean, I feel like it's a tough one because all right, so like look at Arsenal, right? Like they've gone through the whole like process of like having like star players and stuff, and now they're like trying to build a team cohesively, right?
Yeah.
So they might not be primary talents, but like it's one of those things where like what do you like value as a team? And I think it comes down to like the manager a lot of ways, because I think some managers handle like star players better than others.
Mm-hmm.
Some managers can't, and I think like that's where like that issue's gonna happen. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, quality is quality, though. What's the goal for Leicester City? Get back in the top six
for a club like Leeds. Well, a club like Leeds, the goal is meant to be European football. We're talking about building a 60,000 seater stadium.
If you're gonna do that, you got to have like some quality, right? So you have to like spend some money.
Yeah, but in a game, look, we have quality in players like Rafinha and Calvin Phillips, but you can hold on to a player like Rafinha for a couple of years, and then he's out of the window, and we might not even get him. We might not even get 50, 60 million for him. So these players go very quickly if you don't have the money to keep them tied down.
Yeah, but like listen, like with Leeds, like I feel like your goal is to get back into that like the reputable stage, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to like spend some money, but at the same time,
got to spend money to make money.
A big difference in like the Prem.
Cohesion, yeah, of course it does. But with small, narrow investment, like you look at Leicester, yeah, they managed to get themselves to squandering Champions League football 2 seasons in a row, and now look at where they are now. It's not very sustainable. You look at a club like Liverpool, who had to have the season of their career. Like, if we are looking at someone who potentially is going through a similar model, it would be Liverpool, you know, with FSG. They don't spend ludicrous amounts of money, and they managed to do it on a relatively shoestring budget. I know they spend a bit more on agents' fees and other things that people don't really talk about with Liverpool, but they do it on a relatively shoestring budget, get themselves up there, but they don't manage to ever consistently charge. You know, they had to have the season of their careers, 2 of their best seasons in their history, to just run City close. And one of them, they got pipped by City, having one of their best careers ever, best seasons ever. So is it a sustainable model, no matter how much cohesion you have?
Well, listen, like, but they still built a core first, though. And I feel like, you know, like that should be like, you know, that's part of the process. Like, you got to build that core, the central core, and I think that's what Arsenal did well this year. So at the end of the day, you got to have like 3 players, I think. How many players do you think? Let me ask you this question.
Well, first of all, Arsenal spent a lot of money, but yeah.
But how many players do you think you need as a club? Like, if you're making a new team, right? A new team. How many players do you need? Like quality players do you need just to be sustainable?
You need a hell of a lot of quality players to be sustainable. You need
But it's bare
You
minimum,
need
I
a
mean.
second. Okay, you're talking at least 10 to 15 top draw players, and then you're talking probably 5 or 6 top youth players or like good
But
squad
if you look
players.
at, all right, so as positions go, like you need a goalkeeper, right? Like for me personally, I think you need 4, like 4 really strong quality players.
Okay, look at Man City. How many strong quality players do they have?
No. Man City's listen, like they've gone through the process.
Yeah, but what about Chelsea? How many strong quality players do Chelsea have?
Way more than like 4.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're like
how
a big part
many?
of that
How
process.
many?
Like, but
Yeah,
they got
but
like, all right, how many? What's their core though? What's Chelsea's core?
what's Chelsea's core? Well, it's Mendy. I would have said Lukaku. Lukaku, not really. Jorginho,
Yeah.
Mason Mount, who is actually relatively cheap.
Havertz is their core. For me, I think Havertz is like their core
Rudiger.
player.
Havertz is
Rudiger.
growing into it. I wouldn't say Havertz is our core, is their core per se. He's growing into one of the most important players. I think he's a big game player. He is a big game player. His consistency could do with a little bit of working on. But maybe you could say that. But the fact is they have the ability to put a £100 million player on the bench. Newcastle, their first window in the January transfer window, went and splashed just short of £100 million, bringing 5 players in that are either going to get into the first team or going to compete with it, some of which are quite old, like Chris Wood, who they're probably not going to get their money back on, and they spent £25 million on him. What are they going to do in the summer? They're going to go again and spend more. What are they going to do in January? They're going to spend more. Whereas Leeds are trying to do it slower. We're trying to slowly build our way up. But in the process of building up these youngsters, other teams are just going to pip them off, and they're gonna build other projects. I think it's a dangerous game to play.
No, that is a dangerous game to play because I feel like that's what Arsenal was in last year. If they didn't invest like 200 million last year, they're in that same exact situation. Like you gotta like invest in like quality to get them the results.
But Arsenal are already more of a well-established brand. I know Leeds are a massive club, but Arsenal have never been relegated. You know, they've been in the top flight longer than anyone, and they managed to capitalize. No, but the Premier League revenue, that since the Premier League's inception, so much commercialization happened globally. Yep. So much branding was built for these clubs, and Leeds, unfortunately, missed out on all of it. Missed out on so much of it, and you guys managed to capitalize on a lot of it. You built a massive core fan base. You gaining significant streams of revenue, which you can keep putting in there. Also helped by the fact you got Europe every single year. That Champions League, not even Europe, the pinnacle of Europe. Every year Wenger was in there. Yeah,
no, I agree with you. Like, actually, that's actually an interesting point you brought. That's a very good point you just brought up. Like, you guys missed out on like commercialization. Because I think the Prem like grew in the last 10 years. The Prem's grown like nothing else.
Yeah, well, not even the last 10 since its inception. Since it changed from the first division to the Premier League.
Since at least 2006, man. Like the Prem has been something else. Like money wise.
Oh yeah, money wise, it's ridiculous. Well, that's how, because we managed to sell it off to individual broadcasters who therefore spent a lot of money on the players and on the clubs. But on this topic of these small clubs, Leeds need 10 plus. I know it's totally different quality of players, but look at Kante, Mahrez, Leicester City now, Chelsea and City respectively. Exactly. Well, there you go. Two of Leicester's best players got poached. Jamie Vardy, after his first season, almost got poached by you lot. I think Mount is overrated. I think that's a bit crazy. Replace Rafinha with Doku for youth and for Safa now. But this is the problem. We can't have the ability to keep replacing players with youth. We need quality now. That's what I think.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, I feel like, no matter how much investment you get, like, you still got to have like a good development for players. Mm-hmm. At the local stage, right? Like, I feel like